Yes.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
My name is E.
E, hi.
Yes.
It's
Hi,
really nice to
Christina.
meet you. I'm John.
Hi.
Yes.
And I see
I'm Tom.
Christina.
Yeah, hello teacher. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And who else is there?
I'm Kelvin.
Kevin?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Kevin.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a whole big crew here. This is wonderful. I'm very excited about this. Oh, Kelvin, okay. And we got Christina, we got E. There's Paula here.
Yes.
Anais? Anais?
Yeah, Anais.
Anais? Anais?
Yeah.
Hi.
Nice.
Hi.
Hi. Hello and nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I apologize. I don't know if anyone was having trouble logging into the Zoom thing, but I'm hopefully we won't have any more issues.
Hello,
Yeah,
team.
teacher, it was the wrong thing because like I have just see you post it in the announcement. You have
Yeah.
the new link, but that link that we couldn't. But the old link we can access it.
So you were able to access it using the old link?
Yeah, the old link. The
Oh.
new link I cannot access it. So I try
Oh
another
my.
way. So
Oh my.
That's interesting for your
so
reference.
I think that was the problem with somebody else, the same like me too.
Well, it's interesting.
I use the new link successfully.
I cannot
Okay.
use the new link.
Yeah, it seems like both links work for some people.
Zoom is driving me crazy.
Yeah, sure.
But I'll make sure I get it all set up so that we'll have the same link every time we come in. We don't have to worry about it. Hello, T.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. And Anais, hi.
Hi.
And Jingyue,
Hi, teacher.
hi. How do I say your name?
Young Yue.
Young Yu.
Yes.
Young Yue? Okay. Great. And there's Kelvin. And here comes Hanwen. He's connecting. Hello, Hanwen. Nope, still connecting.
Hello, teacher.
Hi. I'm John. What is your name?
My name is Hanwen. You can call me Steven.
Steven or Hanwen, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
Steven, okay, I can do that. Great, great.
Nice to meet you, teacher.
It's very nice to meet you. Well, we're getting some folks in here. I know there was a little bit of an issue with the Zoom, so I apologize about that. It seems for some people one link worked, and for others the other link worked. So, but we're all getting here, I hope.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some more students will be coming in. I'm just going to quickly check my email to see if anyone was having issues. No, I'm not seeing anybody.
For me, I don't know, but I have issue with JSU homepage, like iCollege, to connect, but I don't know if it's only me.
So you were not able.
Sorry.
You use the old link through the iCollege, so you can access.
Oh.
Let me do something. I'm going to pop in here. I'm going to pop in a link to the homepage of our class, and you guys can try it now if you want. So in the chat room, you should see a little link that popped up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. The name that you have there is Omar.
Yeah, that's my son name.
I thought so. Can you introduce yourself to this crew?
Yeah, my name is Rima. I live in Atlanta. I'm originally from Syria. And my native language is Arabic.
Oh, great. And what's your name again?
Rima, R-E-E-M-A.
Rima. Well, I'm John. And
Nice
you
to
see, we have a wonderful crew here already. We were actually just talking about if people were able to access the iCollege page. So Anais, if you can see, maybe it will connect to you. If not, I can check to make sure.
It's like fail to authenticate.
Oh, that can't be good. Don't worry, we'll fix it. We'll get that fixed for you. because I'm almost sure you're in that class with me. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to quickly run over here and take a look at my class list. Yep, there you are. You're here, so that's good. Good. Yeah, and we have a few more people who are coming. But I think we can get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's see. Let me know if you guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Picture.
I do. Yeah.
You see some good looking guy over there?
Yeah.
Very
I'm
fun.
not sure.
I'm getting excited. I'm very looking
Yeah.
That's my formal Georgia State University portrait.
Okay.
So anyway, so we're going to be doing this class, which is the advanced level structure composition. And I think we got somebody coming in.
Mhm. Yeah.
Runa.
I heard.
Hello.
Oh,
I'm
Hi. That's okay.
I was having problem with the link.
That's my fault. I don't know what I did with those links, but all those numbers, somehow they started to get crazy. So I'm glad you're here. Did you end up using that new link I emailed, or did you have were you able to use the old link?
The new one.
Okay. Yeah, because some people were able to use the old one. And what's interesting is they actually both go to the same link. So I don't get it, but you're here and that's what's good. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm John.
My pleasure.
And okay, I just got a message from Enriquez. He's having trouble. So let me quickly, I'm going to quickly send him a little message. So maybe he didn't see my message. And I don't blame him because it was at literally the last minute. Because I got on yesterday and it worked fine. And then this morning it wasn't working. So I blame myself.
No.
And Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah.
That's who did it. So let me find it. I'm just going to send this to him so that he can get in. And we'll see. Hopefully he'll get in. So hello, everybody. I have a little PowerPoint here. So typically the way I work the course is I try to set up a structure. This is unusual, doing it all online, and it has its benefits and its drawbacks. So, I appreciate your patience and your enthusiasm because we're going to try and do our best to make this a great experience for you. All right, let me see if I can move this. All right, as I mentioned, we have our the iCollege course. That's where I'm going to be keeping all of the different things like the just one second. Yeah, this is where we'll be keeping all the different documents. I make recordings of each one of these sessions, so we have a recording of it, so that if for some reason you have to miss a class, you can still catch up with what we do. And the nice thing about that, the recordings, is you can fast forward if you need to, so you can move around in there. Also, all the quizzes are going to be located there. I'm a big believer in quizzes, and also places for your assignments. As you guys probably realize, this is a writing class, which means we will be doing a lot of writing. And I'm going to give you a lot of feedback. I'm going to let you take a look at the, Enriquez is writing to say they're telling him that the course is not valid. That's not good. Hold on just one second, guys. I apologize. Let me just see what I can do. I want to, because what I'm thinking I can do is I can copy the invitation link from this actual class, right? And let's see. Let's see if that one will work. Oh, how interesting. Yeah, this is very strange. I apologize. Okay. We come back.
Mhm.
And let's see who's here. Ismael.
Hello,
Hi.
sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm sir. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
John, you are one of the authors.
Pardon me?
I just noted that you are one of the book, the authors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great.
So in iCollege, we have the information for the book. And you can either get a hard copy of the book or you can get an ebook version of it, depending on what you're most comfortable with. Personally, I love paper. I love having a physical book. So that's what I use. But you can also just do it as an ebook. And one of the nice things about the ebook is, like when you're doing exercises in the book or practice, that you can, get support. You can find out the answers, so you can check your things right away. So that's nice. But we're going to be using the second half of this book. As Paula pointed out, I'm one of the authors of this book. And one of the things that we did is we did a lot of research to find the kinds of things that people use when they're writing in an academic environment. And also we used real life language to identify those structures, grammatical structures that are going to be really useful for you. Now, so there's information on getting the book on iCollege. Does anyone have the book already?
I do.
Bruna, you've got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
I got it.
Yeah. Were you able to, did you order it through Amazon or how did you get it?
I bought through the Blink site.
Oh, the link? Blink?
Blink. Yeah,
Blink.
shop.
And did you get a physical copy or an e-version?
E-version.
Okay, great. And did you say you also got the book?
Yes, from Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
This
And
is the book.
there it is. Good. Great. We're going to be using the second half of the book. We're actually going to start on Unit 9, and then we're going to finish the entire rest of the book. However, the earlier part of the book, I think, is still very useful for you. So if you want to use that, and if you decide to look through that and work through any of it, if you have questions, you can also ask me about it. So let's see what we got. The important dates for our semester. Well, today is an important day because classes are starting. By the way, good morning, Enrique.
Good morning to everyone.
Thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to get all the information on Zoom worked out so that we won't have any more difficulty entering.
Yeah. Sorry, it was very difficult for me to enter.
No, it was not you. It was Zoom. I was going to say it was me, but no, it's Zoom.
Okay.
So next Monday, we have no classes. It's the celebration of the life and work of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. That's his birthday. And I actually don't think it's actually his birthday, but that's the celebration right around that date. So next Monday, the university is closed and there are no classes. So you get a long weekend just to get started here, which is nice. Starting on January 21st, we're going to have ICE or ICE, which stands for Intercultural Conversation Exchange. And that's going to be, for now, it's also on Zoom because of health, obviously public health issues. It's going to be a Zoom meeting where people from all different classes and sometimes teachers and also sometimes other GSU students, we get together and talk about different topics. So it's just another way to practice engaging with each other. And I recommend it. Then we have a spring break. Now, what's interesting, a lot of universities have cut out their spring break. Typically here in the US, spring break is a week off where people go to the beach or whatever they do. And so far, Georgia State has not removed spring break. Some of the other universities, for example, Georgia Tech, has eliminated their spring break. And again, it's related to public health. Any ideas why that might be?
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I just noted that you skipped midterm reports.
Oh yeah, the midterm reports.
No midterm reports. You kind of like midterm exam or something.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I jumped over it because it's really the midterm reports are, but they are for what they do is I'm going to send you guys all a report on how you're doing. So it's just a way that we want to make sure everyone is doing well, and if anyone is having issues or struggling, we want to be able to catch it. We don't want to wait till the end of the semester.
Okay.
So that's that's sort of where our midterm, the halfway point is.
Great. It's the primary your work.
Yeah. So it's where I contact you guys, and part of it too, it's not just, seeing, letting you know how you're doing, but also finding out from you if there are things that will benefit you, either things that we're not doing that you would like us to do, or things that we're doing that you say, maybe you can change that a little bit. Because especially in this environment, but even in a regular environment, the purpose of any course is to help you get to the goals that you're trying to achieve. So we have our vision of how to do that, but we also really value your input on what's the best way for you to reach the goals. And for us, it's about language learning and communicating. So we want to make sure that you are your voice is heard. Now I want to go back to the spring break, and that is that, for example, Georgia Tech has eliminated their spring break. Georgia State has not eliminated it. But my question to you, and anybody can answer, why do you think they eliminated spring break?
Because of the coronavirus, I guess. Right?
Yeah, exactly, Rima. Yeah. I mean, it's about people traveling. Because for public health reasons, I love to travel. I love it. But for public health reasons, we should not be traveling. As much as possible, we need to sort of stay in place until, we all get vaccines and things can go back to normal a little bit.
But I have a question. That will be finished earlier the semester.
Well, that's interesting. What Georgia Tech has done is they actually they decided to start a week later. And in part, I think they wanted to give people more time to, a lot of people traveled over the holidays, and they wanted to give people time to quarantine, to spend time isolated if they needed to before they came back. Because, universities are full of people. And so it's a real concern that many people, if people get together, if they're going to start becoming super spreader events where a lot of people can get infected. Now, with all that said, Georgia State has not canceled spring break. So we will have a week off in the middle of March. I don't think they're going to change it at this point. But as we've all learned in the last year, things that we thought would not change sometimes change. So we'll see. Then we're going to have our final exam will be on April 23rd, which is a Friday. And then the last day of all the exams in the intensive English program is April 26th. And we have a guideline here that early final exams are not allowed. So typically, if you know that there's going to be some sort of an issue, come talk to me as soon as you find out so that we can work something out for you. Okay. All right. So those are the dates. And now I want to talk to you a little bit. Any questions about the dates? Everybody good? So I want to talk to you about how this class will work. Some of you have already taken classes here in the IEP, right? And you can nod if you've taken classes. Oh yeah, no, okay. But what we're going to do here is our course is completely online, but we do have this live session that we're doing right now. The time frame for this is 11 o'clock, no, 10 o'clock to 11:45, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, typically I will have it programmed up to about 11:30, and then I will probably end the formal part of the class around then. But then if people want to stay to either talk individually or, address any questions that come up during class, we can do that. Sometimes on Fridays, I may try and end it a little bit earlier to let you guys have a little bit more of a weekend. I know some of you will be taking another class that comes after this on Monday and Wednesday. So I do also want to be sensitive to that. The other thing is, we will, we're going to be meeting, we're going to be looking at things. I'm going to ask you to write things, but I also want to look out for you guys. So I will try as best I can about halfway through the class to take just a short 5-minute break so you guys can stand up, walk away, drink some water, have a tea, whatever, and then come back again. Because, this is wonderful that we're able to do things this way, but we also, we need to look out for our health, especially because we'll be doing this 3 times a week for the next several months. And sometimes I'll put you into groups. We'll be working in group breakout rooms. So, we'll have different things, and I'll let you know each week how the plan will be. We have, I want to mention just some things about online etiquette, which some people very cleverly call netiquette. And that is that you should be prepared during class to be ready to write, to work with other people, to talk. Even though this is a writing class, obviously listening and speaking are also critical skills that we all want to develop. If it's possible, and I know today was a hard day for everybody, log in a couple minutes before class starts so that you're ready. And usually I'll be here. You may hear me humming to myself or something, but I'll be here a little bit early. I'm going to ask that we all try and keep our video on during class. I think part of that is that it allows us all to stay engaged, and also it helps us connect a little bit more, even though, we're separated by these screens. And because we have video, we need to dress appropriately. And if you're in a noisy background, you can mute your microphone or try to reduce any background noise. I know some people may have dogs who like to bark, things like that. And those things happen. We may have children walking by or roommates, those things all happen. The other thing I want to ask is that for all of us, it's very important that we engage with each other in a respectful way. So be thoughtful in the way you interact with people. That, we want to make sure that we don't accidentally offend somebody else. And I know sometimes we can all feel stress. This is a stressful environment. So, we want to just try to look out for each other. And also to try to, as best you can, come for all the sessions for the full amount of the full time of the sessions. And the reason I say that is I think it helps us create a better cohesive group as we're working together, because we're all struggling in this together. We want to become better writers. And also, I think it is adding more value to what you're trying to get out of this. And I really want you guys to get the most value possible. All right. I mentioned quizzes and how I love quizzes. I do, because I get to write them and give them to you, and then you take them. So I like that. You're going to have quizzes every week. The way I do quizzes, though, is a little bit different. I try to make everything that you will be doing for the week will be due on Sunday night at midnight. And I do that because I think it's easier than trying to keep track of a lot of different things all through the week. Also, bear in mind, I'm not going to be looking at what you do at midnight on Sunday night. I promise. So if you're running a few minutes later than that, if you're a night person, don't worry, don't panic about that. Everything, you can still submit things a little bit late, but I do want you to try to stick to those deadlines as best you can. But also, as we learned with our Zoom today, sometimes technology gets in the way. And so we have to, we just have to take that into account. For the quizzes, I have set up all the quizzes so that you can take them multiple times. And when you take those quizzes, let's say you take a quiz and you get a 60 out of 100, and you don't like that, you can take it again. And if you get a higher score, I will take the highest score that you get. Every time, yeah. And every time I've set it up so that the quizzes, every time you take them, they're different. So you may take a quiz and you'll have slightly different questions and answers.
Correct.
So, and I think I've set it up so that when you take the quiz, I'll show you what the correct answers are so that you can see the things that you missed and try to figure out why you missed them. Because I want the quizzes, they're not just about a test of your skill, but they can also be another way for you to keep learning and keep improving. Okay. And then if you have any questions or if anything you don't understand one of the answers, you can talk to me. We also have a tutoring system. There's going to be a quiz about each one of the units that we'll be looking at throughout the course of the semester. And there also will be vocabulary quizzes and maybe a few other quizzes as well. Any questions? All right, then. We're also going to be doing something called timed writing. During the course of this semester, we will have 4 timed writings. This is, and I think I've set them up so that they're all going to be on a Friday. So there are 4 times during the semester on a Friday. That class session will be devoted to a timed writing. And it's where I'm going to give you 90 minutes. I'm going to give you a topic and you have to create something beautiful with that topic. Sometimes they may be topics where it's kind of new to you. Sometimes it will be a topic that's connected to something we've been talking about in class, or I may have given you some materials to read or to listen to before working on this. The goal here is that you're going to be doing this during our class session. If for some reason you have to miss that session, like for example, your computer is out, or and we've had last semester, we had people whose power went out. If you have no power, it's a challenge. I will still give you a time period. Yes, Paula?
Yes, I think it happened. I think particularly in summer, like I live in an older neighborhood. So in summer, the storm comes. So it could be like out of power for a couple of times. It's the whole summer.
Yeah. The summer was rough because a lot of trees got knocked down and things.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's a limited time to write about a topic. Why am I asking you to do that? Any ideas? Am I just mean?
I think when you start work, you always you have this assignment or some task from your boss, and it just always have a deadline, right?
Exactly. And I think this actually, and I'm glad you brought that up, Paula, that this is connected to the work world, and we like to call it the real world, but it also includes studying in the academic world. A lot of times you will be in a situation where you have to write something and you don't have unlimited time to do it. So you're not going to be able to revise perhaps as much as you want to. Our timed writing is to help you develop that particular skill where you have to do something and it has to be done well, but within a real constrained amount of time. We also have other assignments that will allow you more time to reflect and to develop and to do research. But I want you guys to develop skills in both those areas. So, being absent in this class. Any questions about being absent or attendance? Are there any questions?
I think a need an excuse, right? So, for example, if I'm going to visit doctor, so it's a doctor office should issue like excuse slip.
Well, you don't need to get from my class, you do not need to have a slip like from a doctor or something. And I'm glad you bring this up, Paula, because part of the way this course is set up is we understand that internet access and technology may bring some challenges. My goal is not to add stress to your life, because I believe that you're going to be a better writer when you're able to sort of take things in and feel positive and function within this environment. So, I'm going to be recording all of these classes. However, I think you'd really lose a lot if you're not here during the actual class. If you're just watching a video later, it's not the same thing, especially because then you won't be able to engage with each other. So I encourage everybody to attend as much as possible. You're putting in your resources and your time to do this. So I want you guys to get the most benefit out of it. Paula was mentioning that perhaps, there may be a reason. That phone was in my office. I don't know if you heard a little ringing of a phone there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. There's if you have a reason why you need to miss class, you can share that reason with me, but I only want you to share whatever you feel comfortable with. I don't want you to feel like you have to open up your whole personal life to me, because you don't. Okay. So if you can just say, I have an issue at home and I can't be in class that day, and that's fine. It is nice. I will ask you, if you know you're going to miss a class, to let me know in advance so that it helps me plan the class. But also, if you are, you don't have to share anything that you don't want to share. Okay. Because I think that's, I want to respect that. We're all adults, and, you guys have to, we're all dealing with a lot of things, so, and that being said, also, if you do have to miss a class, you can also talk to me either before or after, so in addition to looking at the videos, because even if you miss a class, I still want you to complete the tasks that we do for that class. Yeah.
I have a question. So how do we contact you?
That's a great question. One of the things that I would like to do is, and let me see if I can do this. We can create a WhatsApp group, and I will. So I've just posted in there. I can create a WhatsApp group for us so that you can contact me directly. I put my cell phone in there so that you can also contact me. If you want to, you can either email me or post in the chat room contact information for you. Again, we live in the 21st century, so, and I always want you to be careful about private information. So only share the information that you feel comfortable sharing. And if you want to send me an email with your phone number, and you can let me know if it's okay to add you to a group WhatsApp list, or if you would prefer not to be. Both of those are fine. Okay. And I love being able to contact people. As a matter of fact, when I had that problem with Zoom this morning, the first thing I thought is, I'm going to send this to the WhatsApp group. And then I realized I had no WhatsApp group. So that, I think that's one of the best ways, is to do that, or by email, Rima.
Okay.
You can also call me, although I will ask, please, no late night calls. But during regular office hours, that's fine, if you need to, because also it's okay with any questions. Sometimes actual talking works better. I will also have office hours during every week, which will be like this kind of a Zoom thing where you can come and talk to me if you want. For now, because of the public health situation, I'm not going downtown. I'm actually calling in from my home base out in the wilds of Georgia. And I'm normally not at Georgia State downtown. As things progress, that may change, but for now, I'm doing my best to follow the CDC guidelines and staying at home, protecting you and protecting me and my family.
Yeah.
So Rima, any of those ways are ways that you can contact me. Okay.
Okay.
That's a good question. So I also want to mention that I said we're going to do other types of writing. We will have 3 essays, more substantive or substantial essays throughout the course of the semester. Each one of those you will write a rough draft. I will read that, give you feedback, and then you will revise it to make a final draft. And I think I mentioned it's 35% of the grade. The timed writings are also 35% of the grade. We will have those quizzes, which are going to be 5% of your grade. And the homework is 5% of the grade. Oh, I'm going to check because I'm adding up and that's 80%. I may be missing something, but I'll check on that for you. As I mentioned, the deadlines are primarily on Sunday night. There may be some times where I may ask you to read something or prepare some ideas from one class to the next, but the essays and the quizzes are all going to be due on Sunday nights. If you miss work, if for some reason you have to travel or some other issue comes up, just let me know. Obviously I want you to stick to the deadlines that we've set up because I think that's the most effective way for you to learn. But I also know that really the goal here is I want you to learn. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, if I miss that deadline, I can't do anything about that. We'll work things out because the goal is to make you a better writer. And as we've already discussed, Zoom classes, I want you guys to participate. I know it can feel a little weird when we have this big group being able to talk, but I do want you to feel that you can speak at any time. One thing too is, as it gets to be around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't given you a break, and you feel like you need a break, you can do something. Like you can start going, please break. Okay, so and we also have our little chat room too, so that can also work. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys into a couple of smaller groups so you can get to know each other, and I want you to I want you to talk about some ideas related to this online etiquette and also about online learning. So let me share this little list. So here are some of the topics that you guys can use. You can look at learning during the pandemic, which continues to roll along, although I think there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Whether there are challenges on on ways to stay concentrated when we have so many different things going on around us, issues about technology, staying focused on what your goals are. Because I know sometimes, Enrique?
Yeah, sorry. I would like to know if you will share this PowerPoint with us.
Yes, I will.
Yes, I didn't attend at the beginning.
Yeah, I'll share the PowerPoint.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And because sometimes because of the stress that we're all under, it can be easy to sort of lose sight of your own goals. So that can be something you can talk about. You can also talk about how you think what can make these Zoom sessions successful. For example, notice I don't have a big breakfast here in front of me, and please don't. But you know, a little glass of water is okay. You know, things like that. Also, what about asking questions? Do you have any ideas or thoughts about how is it if I have a question, what can I do? Technical issues, multitasking, leaving the Zoom session, um, you know, how those kinds of things. Participation. What are strategies for effective participation? The whole idea of cheating, and it's interesting because a lot of instructors have become very concerned that because we're not physically in the same space, that there's less or maybe I would say that they think there's more opportunity for people to not get the full experience by cheating or something. And that's something we're actually going to look at, not so much for our class in particular, but in general, and I will call it a gray area, because we have so much information right at hand through the internet. And then, you know, at what point does something be something that we've found on the internet? At what point is it, if we're using that, is that considered legitimate or illegitimate? And in an academic environment, that has great consequence, because it can be it can lead to things like failing a class if there's some sort of academic dishonesty, or even expulsion from a program. So those are something. Another thing that you guys can talk about is time management, staying organized. How ways that you're going to keep up with assignments. I love this one. How do you balance your studying, your personal life, and if you work, your work life? And then other general issues like building friendships. Are there ways to build relationships in this environment? What are the ways to handle stress? I like to play music, you know, and how do we stay healthy? One of which is to stand up and walk around for a minute. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just stand up and then come back in 5 minutes. Right now it's 10:43. So come back at 10:48 or so. And I'm going to put you into, I'll put you into groups. And you don't leave the Zoom, but you can, if you want, you can turn off your video and mute yourself, take a walk, drink some water, you know, do a little meditation. You can say, grammar is good. Grammar is good. Okay, guys. All right. So let's take a break for about 5 minutes, and I'll see you in a few.
Need to stretch. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, teacher.
I don't know if you can see in the chat room, I have posted the general topics. Is everyone feeling rejuvenated, full of energy?
Rejuvenated for energy.
Ready to go.
Good, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you all into breakout rooms with a couple other students. Yeah, say hello to each other. I'm going to give you like 10 minutes or so, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, so you can talk about any of these topics that you want to talk about. When you come back, I'm going to ask you to write about this. So just have that in your mind as you're having your discussion. Okay, and let me just see here. I'm gonna set that up. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open the rooms. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll be here in the main room. When you go into the breakout room, there's a little, I think there's a button where you can click if you want me to come in, if you have any questions. And then I may send in little messages to everybody just to say hello. I'll try not to be too intrusive. Hi, T.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good, good. And Ismail?
Yes, sir.
Ismail, where are you? Are you here? Where are you?
Yes, sir. In downtown.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh,
I know it's cold here now, though, right?
really? Don't feel it.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I
Hi
hope you were
again.
able to talk to each other a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, and now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to write something for me.
Oh. Oh.
This is what I want to do here is I just want to get a feel for your writing. So this is not going to be graded or anything like that. But what I want you to do is just think about the things that you guys just talked about and about those topics that we had, which were, where were they? Learning during the pandemic, the Zoom sessions, time management, general issues. Think any of those things that you thought were interesting, relevant, that you feel that you could write about. You get to choose the topic that you want. And I want you to write about it. I want you to clearly state your opinion using should statements or should questions. But really you can do, we should have breaks periodically and step away from the computer and then explain the main reasons that support your position. And I want you to try to write it in a way that you think is academic and write it up in a Microsoft Word or something like that. And then you're going to upload it to iCollege. And I think there's a link. I think this is a link that will work. Let me see if I pop it in here. Maybe that will help. Although I know, Anais, we need to, you can just email it to me, okay?
Okay.
Because I know that that's you're learning the joys of Georgia State University here. So I think that link that I've just popped in there might work. I can't swear to it, but I think it might. So you got 20
Yes,
minutes.
Dr. Putin, thank you so much because it's very difficult for me to enter in iCollege. Very difficult for me. I can't. That I just finished to talk to Christian.
Uh-huh.
He will see if he can help me after class.
Good.
But can I send to you to your email?
Yeah, just send it to me by email, and I'll put my email up in here too.
Okay.
So there's my email is up there too. Okay, so I'm going to give you 20 minutes. So you guys, if you want, you can stay on the video or you can go off the video while you're writing. So we don't see you, going, and I'll be here. So you can send me a little private message in the chat room if you have any questions. Okay.
So we can start right now, right?
Yes, please start right now. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to submit it to me by 11:25. And don't worry, there's no grade. I just want to see your writing because that helps me. But I'll be quiet now. Shh.
Teacher, unavailable link.
Okay, just email it to me then. I think that's better. Forget that link I sent you. I thought that was going to work, but just email it. Okay.
come up?
No, you still have 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, great.
just a few more minutes. So when you're ready, you can finish up, check your work, and either email it to me or submit it on iCollege. Emailing is probably easier.
Excuse me, teacher. So if we submit it by in the quizzes, so we don't have to send you by email too, right?
Right. Yeah. If you submit it under the assignment, you don't have to submit it. You don't have to email it. That's correct, Christina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you, Christina.
Welcome.
Okay, I have to send. Okay. Well. Okay, I think. I don't know how to use that. Okay, John. Okay. Attachment. Okay. Miss subject. Okay. Miss subject. Okay.
Okay, guys, if you don't mind, go ahead and send me what you have. If it's not finished, don't worry about that.
John, did you get mine?
It has not come through yet, but if you just send it, it might take a second or two.
Okay, I just sent because I first time used my student email assistant to send out some attachment.
Oh yeah, Paula, I got yours. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I got yours.
It worked.
It's nice to see Kelvin back. Hello, Kelvin. Hello, Bruna. So if you guys can send them to me. T, hello, T.
Hi.
Hi. And this is what this does is this allows me to take a look at what you've written. Stephen, hello.
Hello.
Let's see here. And because I know nobody would feel happy if we didn't have some grammar involved in this day, we're going to do a little bit of grammar before we break. And I do want to mention, as Enriquez was pointing out earlier, all the PowerPoints and the recordings are going to be available to you in iCollege, okay? Also, the grammar points that we go over, in general, they're all from the textbook that you have. So as you're looking at the things as we talk about them, don't feel that you have to take notes about everything because they're all from the book, okay? Now, I know that Kelvin has sent me something. Anise has sent me something. And I know the other ones are on their way. But if you're, hello, Ismael.
Yeah, sure.
They're in downtown, not midtown, downtown, right?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. And Enriquez is here. Hopefully E has sent me something.
Hello. Do you mind when we are waiting? I have a question to ask.
Sure.
I was thinking about the afternoon class, the oral communication. I haven't received email, so my question is, where I can find the information about the class?
Let me, after class, I will contact Sharon Cavaskill.
Oh, okay.
Because that one is, it's not the same schedule as the 750 for you. It's going to be a different schedule. I thought she had already emailed you, but I'll follow up with her.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, guys, what I'm going to do now is we're going to look over at some grammar. This is what I think is, in a way, it's sort of elementary, but also really critical to review. So the first thing we're going to look at is sentence structure. And this is really, I hope for all of you, just a review, but I want to go over this. This is also from the first unit in the book of yours. I want to talk about simple and compound sentences. The reason why I think it's so important for us to look at this is that as academic writers, you need to be able to use different sentence structures to emphasize the points that you want to get across. You're a more effective writer if you have an awareness of the impact of the type of sentences that you use. So a simple sentence, and this also helps us with the grammar terminology that we're going to use. It's just something that has a subject and a verb. So lack of natural resources is one of the results of large ecological footprints, something a lot of people here in the United States have, by the way. A compound sentence is when you take two of those simple sentences and you combine them with a word like and or but. So large ecological footprints cause many problems, comma, and it is our social responsibility to solve them. So that's a compound sentence. So the simple sentence just has one clause called the main clause or independent clause. And the reason why I mentioned those terms is depending on where you're looking, people have different names for these things, even though they're the same, really they're the same thing. And a lot of different things can come after the verb, including an object. So pollution has devastated many rivers. A prepositional phrase can come after it. Ozone and other greenhouse gases are often in the news. You can also use an adjective. The earth is becoming warmer. Or an adverb. Natural resources that provide energy will run out eventually. All of these things can be used, but not in all cases. So part of the skill that you need is to understand when these things can be used and also how they can be used most effectively. Because I don't want you just to be grammatically correct. I want you to be effective communicators. So, and the subject of a sentence has to be a noun phrase. It can be an adjective and a noun, like small changes. It can be a pronoun, or a demonstrative. This has devastated many rivers. It can be two nouns, ozone and other greenhouse gases. It can be a noun and then some modifier after it, the health of our oceans. And it can also be a noun and a relative clause, natural resources that provide energy. All of that is the noun phrase. And it can also be a gerund, or what I like to just call an ing verb, reducing our ecological footprints. So those are the most common. And the verb can be just a main verb. The health of our oceans remains critical. It can have auxiliaries like has devastated. It can have a modal, which is may take. People may take long showers. And so those words are called modals. And it can also have more than one verb sometimes. The average temperature rises and falls. So all of those are possible. The function of these things, to use a short, simple sentence, will emphasize an important point that you want to make. So the consequences of these footprints can be disastrous. In academic writing, typically you're going to be using a lot of long sentences. And if you've read academic text, you'll see there are big, long sentences, and you try to figure out exactly what's going on. But then if you have a short sentence amid all of those, that really has a power to it because it's short and it's clear. So you don't have to think, well, okay, I've got to figure all this out. It's just like, boom. So you don't want to use it for something that's not important. Now, if you are missing a subject or verb, that sentence is not grammatical and it's called a fragment. So in the future, we'll probably be much warmer on Earth. Uh-oh, it's missing the temperature. So we need to make sure we have a subject and a verb. And depending on the background you have in your first language or other languages you know, some of these issues are more frequent depending on your first language. You can also miss a verb. The worst effect of large ecological footprints, the loss of natural resources, not grammatical. We need to put in the verb is. The worst effect is the loss of natural resources. We also use transition words to show the relationship between ideas. And that's very important in academic writing. And these are words you probably are familiar with, words and phrases. As a result, consequently, furthermore, however. Notice that you use a period or a semicolon between the two sentences, and then a comma that goes after the transition word. That's the usual structure. We'll see later on that sometimes you can do something a little different. You can also, as we see in that second example, you can connect two independent clauses with a semicolon. And that shows your reader these are two ideas that are closely related. So it's not something you want to do all the time, but if you want to show in an effective way that two things are closely related, you use a semicolon instead of a period. And then we have compound sentences that just connect two ideas as well. And that's, you use what's called a coordinating conjunction, and, but, or, so, or yet. And typically you're going to use a comma between the two independent clauses. If they're very short, sometimes you won't. And also if you're more familiar with British English, for example, you probably won't see the commas used quite as much. You want to avoid run-on sentences and comma splices. These are things that they don't necessarily change the meaning of what you're saying, and people can still understand you. But when you have mistakes like this, it alerts the reader to start questioning who you are as a writer and as a thinker. So you don't want to have things where people are thinking about your writing and your grammar. You don't want that. You want them just to think about your ideas. So a run-on is where you have two sentences and you have no punctuation between them. The gases trap heat in the air, the earth gets warmer. Two great ideas, and I can figure out what you mean, but they're not grammatical. So you would use a comma and then one of those things. one of those coordinating conjunctions. These gases trap heat in the air, comma, so the earth gets warmer. And you could use and or whatever, depending on the meaning, the relationship between the ideas. And the comma splice, and this is also something that is very common, and it's interesting because in some other languages, it's considered grammatical, but in English, especially academic English, it is not. You just have a comma where you should have a period. And these are things that I'll note in your essays so that you can look at them and try to fix them. You will also see that sometimes, and certainly when we speak, we do this, we will start a sentence with and or but. And in some informal writing, like newspapers, for example, they use a lot of and but. But that's typically not appropriate in academic writing. So you want to probably try to avoid that. Again, it depends on the field you're in. I would say if you're going into philosophy, probably not such a big deal. But in most academic areas, it's not really, it's not hard to understand, but it does make the reader think about your writing and not about your ideas.
Can I
Yep.
ask a question?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I do a lot of that, starting my sentence with and or but. And how do you fix that? You just take away the and or the.
That's a great question. That's one option, Rima. So one thing you can do is just remove it and then start a new sentence. Or you can, instead of having the period and the and, you can make a comma and use and. So again, it depends. Now, sometimes people like to use that as an effect, and it also can create, because it's informal, creates a connection between you, the writer, and the reader. Sometimes that can work, but a lot of times in academic writing, it's probably not the best choice. Okay, that's a great question. We also have complex sentences, and that has an independent clause and a dependent clause. So this is where we use words like because resources are readily accessible in developed countries like the US, comma, that's a dependent clause. And by itself, even though it has a subject and a verb, because it has the word because, it is not a complete sentence. And then the main clause is people in these countries tend to have large ecological footprints. So there's the independent clause and the dependent clause. And the dependent clause is introduced by a subordinator. Future generations will suffer if pollution is not reduced. So those things, that's a great way to show complex ideas. And that's very common in academic writing, and it will be very common in your writing. Some of these things that we use are words like although, after, as if, because, before, if, since, whereas, whether, and while. What's interesting to note is that when you use those words and then you give your dependent clause and the comma, you can't use a word like and or but or so. You have to just have it just by itself. And then if you put the dependent clause first, typically you want to put a comma after that dependent clause. Although people try to save energy, comma, global demand for energy increases every year.
I have a question here. So because it's okay to start a sentence with the word because.
Well, you have to be careful. It's okay to start it if it is being used as the dependent clause.
Okay.
So you can say, because I love grammar, comma, I'm very happy when I hear John talk, period. But you can't just say because I like grammar, period. That's not a complete sentence.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But you can do it. You can use those followed by a main clause. And we will often use these things to express complex ideas, things like cause and effect. If pollution is reduced, global health will improve. And this actually was what I was just mentioning to Rima. If you have the dependent clause that is not connected to an independent clause, it is considered a fragment. So because energy use is high in the developed world, period. That doesn't work. So the way to fix that is you connect it to an independent clause, or you change that subordinator, like because or if, to a transition word as a result. So yeah, energy use is high in the developed world, period. As a result, people there use a lot of resources. So you can use different structures, but you need to be aware of how each structure is used. So now I'm going to ask you, in the few short moments we have left today, I want you to write one compound sentence in the chat room. Oh, it's not a compound sentence. Wait. It's a complex sentence. Sorry. Fortunately, you guys won't even notice that I have made this terrible mistake because I'm going to change it in front of your eyes. One complex sentence about your goals for this semester. I hope to improve my grammar because it is a necessary component of effective writing. I want you to write a sentence and put it in our chat room about your goals for this semester, and I want it to be complex. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about my class. It can be about all of your classes or a different class, anything you want. And I put up a few examples of those type of subordinators. Rima, I like what you've written. The only thing is the so and the when. You have
I saw
to.
that.
Yeah. And I want to point something out too. The joy of a chat room is we get to see stuff right away. The drawback is you can't really edit.
Yep. I was going to say something else, and then I decided to change my sentence. So I know I shouldn't try when. I should take away the when.
Yeah, so you don't need the when, but other than that, that's perfect. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I like that you use the comma. Some people might not use the comma, and I think that's still okay. But I think having a comma, especially when you start having longer, more complex ideas, the comma helps make things very clear.
Okay.
Oh, look at what we have here. Oh, wait. And guys, when you send it to everybody. Don't send it just to me. Don't be shy. I wrote one here, although it's very cold in Atlanta right now. I plan to visit many interesting sites to learn about civil rights this semester. Atlanta, by the way, is a great place to learn about human and civil rights.
Yep.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
Anis says, I would like to improve my oral communication because of the necessity to understand native speakers well. Nice, Anis. I like that. It's interesting. Anis, what you have done there is you actually are using a slightly different structure when you use because of almost is like a prepositional phrase. So notice there's no verb after that, but it's nice, that structure you use. Oh, Christina, because my mom and dad woke up so early. Christina, one of the things that I want you to remember is if you're going to use because, you don't use so. You can only use, you could say, my mom and dad woke up early, so I did not see them. Or because my mom and dad woke up early, I did not see them.
Yeah, teacher, I forgot, sorry.
That's okay. That's a very common issue because it's like, I think we want to make sure we really let people know there's a relationship, but in English, you can only have one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Paul is up for everybody. I hope to improve my overall English and enjoy the IEP program because they will be, and because part is countable, you would probably make it a major part. Put the article because they will be a major part of my life for these months. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. And notice her dependent clause because is at the end, so you don't need any commas. If you put the ideas in the other direction, because the IEP program will be a major part of my life for these months, comma, I hope to improve my overall English. Although I actually like what you put better. Yours is good. And T said to me privately, but I'm going to share it. I hope to improve my writing skills because it helps to reach my goal. Very nice. T, where's T? Nice. I like it. One thing is, you can say it helps to reach my goal, or you could say because it helps me to reach my goal. They're actually both correct. So that's nice. Christina, okay. Okay. Oh, good. And now E, I should improve my typing skills because typing would be with the ing, E, because I need to complete the time writing class. Oh, by the way, E, I agree with you. Yeah, typing skills are important for these timed writings. And let's see here. Enriquez, I hope to be always on time in my classes during this session because this could help me understand better class materials. Yes, I like that. And that's really good. I agree with you. Although, today was a weird day with my various messages about Zoom. So don't worry. What's interesting is the very last part, they could help me understand better class materials because better is actually modifying the whole idea of understanding class materials. You would say it would help me understand class materials better. So you put the verb and the object together, and then you have that modifier better.
Yes, thank you.
Very nice. And Bruna says, I want to improve my writing, listening, talking in English because my desire is to go to college. Really nice. That's great, Bruna. Are you thinking about Georgia State?
Yes.
Yeah. Go Panthers. And let's see. Says that Stephen? Yeah. Stephen, if I pass all the level 5 courses, I can continue my university course. You're going to do it, Stephen. Yes. Yes. All right. That's a very nice sentence too. And Ismail says, my goals this semester is to improve my English because my level in English needs to be nourished. Nice vocabulary. I like that, Ismail. One thing, my goals, and this, again, we're typing in a chat room, but remember, if you say my goals, it's plural, then you would say are to improve my English. But that's a very nice sentence. And now, Ing Yue, am I saying your name right? You got to help me.
Young Yue.
What?
Young Yue.
Young Yue.
Yes.
Young Yue. Okay. Thank you. And I apologize. My mouth is but I'll try. Young Yue. Young Yue says, I wish I could be a better writer and speaker because that's important to get into a university in my near future. Beautiful. That is wonderful. Nice. And our friend Kelvin, there is Kelvin. If I pass all my courses this semester, I will attend. You know, it's interesting. I love that sentence, but to attend, you would just say attend college. You don't need the to there. Okay, Kelvin? But other than that, that's perfect. Oh, man. Nice. Well, guys, I want to learn a little bit more about you, but I think I'm already late. I think I've kept you late already. I'm so sorry, but I can't let you go quite yet. Hold on. I have some homework for you. The first thing is, if you don't already have it, although E is good for this, buy the book. Let me know if you have any delay in getting the book. I want you to send me a short video, 1 to 2 minutes. And there's an assignment on iCollege for this by Sunday night at midnight. And it's just a video telling me about yourself and about your goals. And that way, for me, it helps to just get to hear a little bit about you. All right. I would like you to please read the essay on the pact in Unit 9. And that's on page 99 in the book, and be ready to discuss it. Now, if you're thinking, well, wait a minute, John, I don't have the book yet. Good news. In the content of our iCollege class in week 1, I have a PDF of chapter 9, so you can read it from that PDF. Okay. Typically, we can't do a lot of copying from books, but for this one unit, we can do that. So you want to read the essay on the pact. It's a short essay, maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. Check the iCollege page for any announcements or updates. As I mentioned earlier, if you would like to be on a WhatsApp group, which I encourage you to do, just send me your phone number so I can add you to the group. And let me know if you have any questions. You can email me or reach out to me through WhatsApp. And I think this is going to be a great semester for all of us to become better academic writers and communicators. And please stay safe. Wear a mask if you go out. Protect each other. Okay? Any questions?
No. John, what's number is your phone number?
Yes, that's my cell phone number. Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's my cell phone number. So, and I'll create a little WhatsApp group, and it can be very useful. So, any other questions or thoughts before we break? Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. I'll see you Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. How to leave?
Hi, teacher.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
So you were having trouble getting into like iCollege and everything?
Yeah, and I would like to talk to something because I have some issue with my extensive reading. For the last semester, I was in extensive reading 4, but I failed this class because Christian told me of too many assignments. But
Right.
I emailed him because this time, in fact, I'm international student and I moved to a new apartment by myself. And during this time, I had no car and it was very tough, difficult.
Okay.
And